Hello everybody, Carolina Tony. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you're here for the first time, be sure to go down here and click subscribe. After that, ring that bell so you'll be notified every time we put a video out, which is always on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Today, I am in a little community outside of Cheraw, South Carolina called Cash. Cash is just a real small community, just a little country store here, and what used to be a school. And I'm going to tell you a story about that, but right after this station identification. This is Prince Carr School. In the early 1950s, Governor at the time, James Byrne, started building schools as part of the South Carolina Equalization project, which was to give the same education to black students as well as white students, but at different locations. Because you see, at the time, South Carolina was still segregated, but they believed that black students deserve the same education as white, but just not in the same place. So let's take a look at this once thriving school. Now, even after the schools had integrated, on up to probably 20 years ago, this school was still a functioning school. It became integrated and was used for other purposes as well, such as Head Start and just smaller educational projects. I could imagine children performing plays and concerts up on these stages, up on this stage. This room here would also serve as the cafeteria. Here's the kitchen right next to it. You can tell by those vents in the ceiling, as well as the plumbing and all over there. There's a pantry through those doors there, but it's kind of dark. Pretty much all of the schools that were built in the 50s look basically the same. Same style with a flat roof. A lot of iron and lots of windows. You know, you would think that at one point this school could have been saved and utilized for, you know, some other type of purposes, community functions or whatever, but perhaps asbestos and dangerous things, where at the time it was built wasn't dangerous, but later on we found out they were, such as leaded paint and asbestos. It looks like all of the classrooms gained access by the way of a covered walkway and doors to the outside. A protected little courtyard here between the two classroom sections. When these schools were built, folks back then did not really know what air conditioning was. However, air conditioning had been around for a long time. Many schools didn't have air conditioning. As you can see, where someone had come back later on and put a panel to put a window unit in. I remember when I was in school in the 60s that we were constantly selling candy or selling wrapping paper in order to raise money to buy air conditioning for the school. And of course, that money was never raised until after I left the school. Well, there you go. Prince Carr School, crumbling into the pages of history. Patrick Henry once said, unless we study history, we are doomed to repeat it. So it's important to remember these things so that we can move on to the future and hopefully make it better than where we've been before. I want to thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for subscribing. If you hadn't, be sure to go down here and click subscribe. If you would consider becoming a sponsor Patreon, I'd really appreciate it, to help fund future travels and exploration to who knows where. But anyway, for now, y'all have a good day. Equalization program. Yeah. Oh, South Carolina. I don't want to go here either. Well, there you go. Prince Carr School. Fallen into state.